guess I'm doing this now. Welcome to my first video on my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite books of 2024. I read 35 books this year, so these like top 10, most of them I rated like 5 stars, like between 4 and 5 stars. Excuse me. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about some of my favorite books this year. I feel like I had a pretty good reading year, honestly. Like, I loved most of the books that I read. Let's get into it, I guess. I have all of them here with me. This is in like no particular order of like when I read them or like necessarily which ones are the best, although I am saving the best for last. But other than that, these are kind of just random. First off, we have Nothing Like the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is the sequel to Better Than the Movies. And honestly, like, I feel like this one was just as good as the first one. Which may be like an unpopular opinion because I feel like I've seen a lot of people talk about this one and like say that they didn't like it as much as the first one, or like they felt like it wasn't needed or like that kind of thing. But honestly, I still had so much fun reading this and like it was just such a good time. So yeah, I think I rated this like around 4.5 maybe. It says I rated this 4 on Goodreads, but you know, can't do half-star ratings on there, so I feel like this is like a 4.5 for me. But I really love the way that she like writes about young people. I feel like it's so like accurate, and I feel like I connected a little bit extra to this book because whenever I read Better Than the Movies, I was a senior in high school, I'm pretty sure, which is how old they are in that book. And then in this one, it's like a few years later and they're like in college, and I'm in college now. So I feel like I kind of was like, you know, growing up with them. I love their character development in this. I feel like it's so accurate. Like they change so much as people, which is obviously very real, and like these are very very like formative years of your life, so I feel like she wrote that really well, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Next up we have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. This duology was so good, like so unexpected for me. I didn't like have a lot of expectations going into it, so it kind of just like exceeded everything that I had like set in my mind. One thing that I loved about this book is how well the like plot and the romance balanced out. Like I feel like it wasn't too much romance, but I also wasn't like wanting more, you know? And like the writing was just so good, and like I don't know, counting this as one book, but like both of them were so good. Honestly, kind of like 5-star duology. Yeah, I don't know if I have much else to say about this one, but highly recommend if you're looking for a fantasy romance. Another duology, that again I'm just counting as like the first book, but honestly both of them were 5 stars for me, which is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This was so like beautifully written. I love books like that where like there's so many just like beautiful quotes in it, and like I don't know, the romance was so good. It was kind of like, I don't know, I feel like the characters fell in love quickly, but it didn't feel too quick, you know? Like I don't know, it felt natural still. And again, another like duology where I feel like the romance and the plot was very well balanced, which is something I love. Like I don't love it when there's just like the whole thing is just romance, but I also like to have a little. So again, if you're looking for another like quick little fantasy romance series, highly recommend this one. Next up we have The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. I love anything that this woman writes. Like her mystery thrillers are just so good. I love all of the books that she's written. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that whole series, like one of my favorite mystery thriller series. And this honestly just like exceeded that too. Like this is probably one of my favorite books by her. I feel like this toes the line between like young adult and adult mystery thriller like so closely. It was so intense, and like by the end of it my jaw was just dropping like every other page. And it's kind of, she's kind of thick for like a mystery thriller book, like especially young adult. Yeah, it's over 400 pages, but it didn't feel like it was too long. Like I was still like, it was still a page turner, still read this in like a few days. So highly recommend if you're looking for a good thriller. Then we have like, I'll just yeah, Queen of Shadows, as well as Kingdom of Ash, which I don't have with me currently. That's back in my room at school. But Queen of Shadows and Kingdom of Ash, I both rated 5 stars. Obviously, the entire Throne of Glass series is just like a 5-star series for me. I literally feel like my life is now defined by before I read Throne of Glass and after. Anyways, what I really loved about this one, I feel like this one was so like action-packed and like so many plot twists, and I feel like the plot really thickens in this book. Like we're starting to get into the nitty-gritty of stuff, starting to get thick. And yeah, I just loved it so much. And then Kingdom of Ash, I don't have to explain to you, like that was just, I don't know, one of the best fantasy series I've read for sure. Then we have The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Stolen Heir duology, which comes after the Folk of the Air trilogy, the Cruel Prince series. Again, I literally will read anything this woman writes, and I love this world and these characters so much. So at this point, I feel like any of these books are just going to be an automatic like 4 or 5 stars for me. I believe I rated this one 4.5, just because I feel like I was expecting like a little bit more for it being like the last book in this duology. But again, 4.5 like is literally so good. Like I love this so much. And I feel like she doesn't, like, she writes romance so differently than like any other author that I've read, and she does enemies to lovers so well, and it doesn't feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of enemies to lovers books these days are kind of like, oh, they're enemies, but like they're still like attracted to each other immediately, and they like each other immediately even though they're like enemies. But she does it different. She's built different. That's all I have to say. We're getting down to the last 3. The next 2 books that I have are both Emily Henry. We have Funny Story and Book Lovers by Emily Henry. These were both 5 stars for me. I read these. Did I read these back to back? I feel like I did. I'm pretty sure I did. First off, I can't believe I waited so long to read this book. Like, this is my favorite Emily Henry book by far. This one and Funny Story are probably like, they're really close, but this one takes the cake. This one for me, I just like connected to the story so much, and I connected to the characters, and like I felt like I was Nora, like low-key, literally related to her so much and what she was going through, and like all of the thoughts and feelings that she was having throughout this book. I was like, okay, yeah, I get it, girl. She's tall, she's blonde, like me, like, hello, this is me in a book. This is me in a book. But yeah, literally love Emily Henry. I feel like her books and her writing just get better with every single one that she releases, and I literally can't wait for the new one coming in April. If you know, you know. But yeah, I don't have much else to say. Favorite Emily Henry book. As far as Funny Story goes, this was, I don't know, again, like her writing just gets better every time she releases something. And I felt like the like connection between Daphne and Miles was so real, like their chemistry was just so good. And I just loved the plot of this one. And again, like I feel like a lot of the things that she was like going through in this book, especially in regards to like friendship, was very relatable and I loved it. Okay, last but not least, this is probably tied with Book Lovers for my favorite book of the year. We have Circe by Madeline Miller. Another book that I can't believe I waited so long to read. Like, I had this on my TBR for a few years, definitely, before I finally picked it up. And this, like, blew me away. This was not at all what I was expecting. I think I cried several times towards the end of this book. And I knew I would love the writing because I loved the writing in The Song of Achilles, which I think I also rated 5 stars, I'm pretty sure, way back when I read that. But the writing was so beautiful, obviously, but like I wasn't expecting the themes in this book to like hit so hard and hit so close to home. And I just felt like I related to so many of the feelings that she was having in this book. And her story is just so beautiful and like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what else to say. If you haven't read this book, go read it. Go read it. So with that, that is my top 10 favorite books of this year. I feel like I had such a good reading year. So many good books, so many 5 stars. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. I'm hopefully looking forward to making more videos. I don't know. Hopefully looking forward to making more videos. Because, I don't know, this is what I want to do. I want to talk about books with people. And I have fun doing that. And that's what I'm passionate about. So, we're going to try this out. We're going to try it. 2025 is the year. Even if nobody literally watches my videos at all, I'm gonna be posting. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully I will see you in another video.